Good day, everyone. Alice here from Safi Financial Network. Today is June 6th, June 5th, actually, 2023. Here is the S&P, here is the daily chart. Instead of going to the S&P 500 daily chart, I just wondering if we can just cover some of the other charts. It is worth to take a look at those ones as well to see how market is reacting based on these charts, because these ones are kind of like important one, and sometimes people just forget about it. Here is the yield curve, and as you see here, we are pretty inverted. Like since July 2022, we are in inversion. Actually, this one got into March 2022 and just a bounce back up. But right now, after July, we are just deeply went into the inversion, and the market doesn't show a top information yet, but seems like the top is there. As I just have warned you on my monthly analysis, I will I will put a link up there here so you can see that. Make sure watch that video because I nailed the top already for the Nasdaq and technology stocks. However, I believe still Dow Jones have more leg up to go. But this chart tells me that we are heading into a severe recession and not a soft landing or something easy that Federal Reserve expect. But this is just about the timing. So when this happens, we don't know. I think that later this year, early 2024, we will see a kind of like a disappointment for the market, and a severe downside is coming down the road for the market. But this is the yield curve. As you see here, we are below this red line, which is a zero, pretty inverted. And every single time when we got inverted, 6 months to 2 years after that, we got into recession. So right now we got inverted since July 2022, let's say. So we are almost a year after that, and right now market is not in a good shape. However, some people just think that we are getting back to the bull side. I will talk about some sentiment charts as well. So here is the skew, weekly chart skew went up nicely, but sharply coming back down last week. And if I just want to show you how this one correlate with S&P 500, this is kind of like a leading indicator, if you ask me. Here is we're going to add S&P 500 chart. This is a weekly chart, and as you see here, here's the top of the market in December 2021, but the skew topped in June 2021 and lagging. And you see that there is a divergence here between S&P 500 and the skew is coming down. So this divergence shows that we are at the topping process. Right now, skew is up, S&P 500 is up, and skew is just heading down. I don't know if this head down is gonna be just a correction, or if this one goes down more, then we should see a kind of like divergence again between market and skew, and that would be kind of like a forming the top information, which I believe the top is going to be here for lots of indexes, stocks in this summer. But there is a divergence inside the market. So Nasdaq is at the top. Nasdaq is going up. We will get back to those ones. And Dow Jones is just lagging. So right now, Nasdaq could be the first one who hit the top, while the other one's still catching up the rally. So it's kind of like a roller coaster. If you see the wagons in a roller coaster, so one is reaching on the top, but the other one still has more boost to go up. And when this one, the first one heading down, still the last one is going up. So you can see the roller coaster analogy in the market indexes as well. You will see the Nasdaq is heading down while Dow Jones is kind of like heading up because it was lagging at the beginning. So that's kind of like an analogy that I'm just looking for the market. So this is a skew. Oh boy, those ads. So this is a skew, and this is PCC, which is a put call ratio. If it gets here to my bear side, I would say this is going to be very, very bearish. And last week we just touched it and then bounced back up today. So this is kind of another leading indicator for myself. When we get there, it's going to be very, very bearish. As you see here, this is going to be a March top 2022. This is the market top January 2022, and after that market just went down and going lots of time to the bullish momentum, which is kind of like a dead cat bounce here. Right now we got into the top information, and that was obvious for the Nasdaq as well. So another one is market breadth, which this one doesn't tell me anything right now, because if we get there in very, very overbought condition or at the top, we should say market is at the top. So this is those stocks who are trading above 200 moving averages. So right now you see half of the market is above 200 moving averages. Some of them actually are below 200 moving averages. But as you see, Nasdaq is kind of like heading up. So for those ones like Apple, Microsoft, big techies, they're trading above 200 moving averages, but some of them are not even close to 200 moving averages. So that's why this one is in 50 range. So if we get there somewhere around this area, that would be pretty top information and bearish. If we get there like October, September 2022, like April 2000 or March 2020, which is COVID bottom. So we are buying here, but right now it is in no man's land. So this is in no man's land, and I'm not gonna buy anything or sell anything based on this indicator, So the next one that I wanna show you, a couple of pictures for the sentiment. Here is a bull versus bears, and this is every Wednesday. So the number that we are seeing for last Wednesday, and the updated one is coming this Wednesday. And this is AAPL sentiment survey. And as you see here, 38% of people are bearish. So when we are 36 people bearish, so this means market is not in a top information. Lots of people, just because they're disappointed, market is heading up and up and up. So this is kind of like a contrary indicator. That's what I'm saying. If we see the number of bulls is getting to 40% or something like that, and market is at the top, so that would be perfect scenario for the top information. Right now, we are at 30% bull, 36, which is more than usual, more than neutral. Neutral is going to be like a 33, 34%. And right now, we are having more bears than bulls. So that's why market is just hyping up, and any pullback could be a buying opportunity until we get a more bullish people or sentiment, like something around 40%. So that's the key word for me, 40%, and then market is at the top. So that's going to be a casino type of situation. All right. So that's one. And the next one is this. So this one is telling me that we are getting there, because this is kind of like a short-term period. This is a fear and greed index. This is a CNN fear and greed index. And as you see here, we are at 73. So when we get into extreme greed, that would be kind of like the top information for the market. Right now, we are pretty close to extreme greed. As you see here, 75 is there. We are at 73 today. And if we get into this area, and when we are at the top, so I should say market is in top information. So I just want to tell you about this stuff before getting into some kind of like analysis, and we can start with our analysis right now, going to the S&P 500. Okay, here is S&P 500 daily chart. We got kind of like a bearish candle today, getting into this danger zone, I should say. This is the August top. And obviously, we got into kind of like important level. Lots of people are getting bearish right now. I don't know if it's going to be the case, but I believe when this breakout happening, just prior this pivot, that could be kind of like a stop hunting, and lots of short squeeze happening, because lots of bears are there, as I just show you for the AARI sentiment. But at the same time, for the daily momentum, lots of people are getting back to the bull side. So it's kind of like a, I should say, it's kind of like a bearish sentiment for me. It's not ready yet that I like, but it's kind of like important to see and watch for the next days. However, this one, as you see here, if we get back down here to this area, so 4,000 level, that could be kind of like the buying scenario. And I'm just waiting for this down before the last leg up into summertime area. So that would be pretty interesting to see how market is going to react for this. But right now, S&P 500 daily chart, we got the bear reversal signal. And it's pretty important just because weekly chart tells us as well. So we are at very, very overbought condition as well. Moving on to the Nasdaq, which was kind of like interesting one. Let me go to the daily chart. But Nasdaq in weekly chart, as you see, it's pretty overbought. Daily chart pretty overbought. So kind of like a surprising because it gets above my signal. So it goes all the way up to 14,600. And right now it is in danger zone. So this supply area, I don't know if it works or not, but this can go down, I should say, sharply to this area. And next week, we will have CPI announcement on Tuesday, Federal Reserve meeting on Wednesday. So that's going to be kind of like a very, very interesting market mover next week as well. So we'll see how they're going to play out with the rate. Are they going to pause? Are they going to just increase another 25 basis, or they're going to pivot, which I don't think they're going to pivot, because the job report last week, NFP report, was pretty hot. So it was overestimation. It was beating up the market estimate. It was beating up the previous report, which was pretty bullish for the NFP, which is bearish kind of like for Federal Reserve, because Federal Reserve don't like to see that hot drop number. Anyway, so a Nasdaq can go down here to this area, at least to 13,000, I should say low 14,000. And that could be kind of like the first pause, because right now we are pretty overstretched. As you see here, here is the SMA 20, here's the previous breakout, here's the wide range bar. So we can't just have a sharp sell-off all the way to 14,000. Today, Apple just hit all-time high. I will get a bit, but that was kind of like the Nasdaq holder as well. So some technologies, but there's some weakness in technology as well. Here is the bear reversal. So we'll see MACD already show divergence in daily. RSI shows divergence. Stochastic nicely diverging to the downside. So all indicators, especially 4 hours chart, 2 hours chart, they're just telling us this is overstretched, overbought, and you should be careful about the rotation to the downside. Moving on to the Dow Jones, which is my favorite one. So Dow Jones just coming down today. This is a daily chart. So Dow Jones just coming down today, but this could this could be just a pullback, because here is my cycle. My cycle just shows this one goes up. And right now I'm just looking for another pullback, possibly to this level. Let me just zoom in here. Here is the Friday candle, which was absolutely positive, like crazy positive up there. So here is the FL, and here's the signal. So I should say 33,385. It could be somewhere in that area, could be a buying opportunity, which can reach out today. I mean, like today is finished, like this is a future market, but it can reach out tomorrow, or on Wednesday, we can see a Dow Jones give us another buying opportunity. But yesterday, I mean, like a Friday candle was absolutely remarkable to the upside. Pretty nice reaction to this level. And this level still is going to be important pivot. But as I said, Dow Jones can be a mover for the next 3 to 5 months, at least, while Nasdaq is lagging, because I believe Nasdaq is forming the topping formation. Moving on to some individual names, starting with yield. Yield is coming down today, and it was kind of like a corrective move to the upside. I believe this is going to be the top for the yield, and still lots of scenario can happening, but yield can have like a very choppy period, especially CPI and also Fed meeting next week. So when we have those two important sessions just right after each other, so Tuesday is going to be CPI, Wednesday is going to be Fed meeting, pretty important. And we had NFP obviously on Friday, and this boost up the yield to the upside, but today it doesn't have followed through. So we'll see how it goes, but lots of people just be careful about the market. So that's why they're just flowing into yield. Treasuries. So treasuries had like a negative day, but look at the candle type. So it was negative at the early, but nicely getting back up during the session. So right now, Treasury is just forming kind of like, I should say, no changes prior to Friday. Friday was sell-off due to NFP, but today, just a gut buyback here. Lots of people just bought back here. Still looking for Treasuries for outperformer down the road. Again, lots of people are saying, Ali, you're just saying since the beginning of this. Yeah, it could just be a very, very wide, big consolidation, but last phase of the breakout could just last in 2-3 weeks even. So I don't know if when that happens, but that's going to happen. So yield is kind of like at the top information. Everyone is just looking for kind of like a blink from Federal Reserve to this one is going to skyrocket to the upside. Gold had a positive day today, not bad, still in this wide range bar consolidation. So this wide range bar could be a bullish, but this one can just hold up pretty well for now. So I believe gold and TLT treasuries can be outperformer, but right now we need to see how they're gonna react to Federal Reserve next week and CPI number next week as well. So again, this can go down to give us another buying opportunity, I should say. I'm just waiting for another deep down to here for just get all in into gold and gold miners. Crude had a just jump up yesterday, getting back to this supply area, as you see here. We just tagged this supply area and sharply coming down. So this is not a good bullish signal for crude, but crude is very, very confused right now. I should say this can be a volatile period for crude and energy, while OPEC is deciding, they have decided to keep the supply for the crude the same as it was, but Saudi Arabia, they just want to cut by themselves, and voluntarily they just want to cut, I think, 500 barrel per day or so, which doesn't actually impact the market at all. So 500 barrel is nothing. It can be just replenished by other suppliers as well. So again, crude is very, very confused. News just overreact yesterday future opens, but smashed down today and just coming down after hours. It just like a very, very weak price action right now. VIX, again, this can be good play. Let it go down just a bit down there. Still, I'm okay with option. If you want to play option for the next 2-3 months, I think we're gonna have like a pop for the VIX, especially to $20 to $21. So we'll see how it goes. But VIX can be a good option play, I believe, for the next 2-3 months. DXY coming down, so it's just consolidating. Sellers to control above 104. Right now it's at 103.99, so we'll see how it goes. It's kind of like correlating with bond yield as well. Moving on to the technology sectors. So here's the Apple. Apple forms a bearish engulfing right at the top. Look at that. So it just hit the all-time high coming down. This is not a good signal for bulls because bulls need to see strong breakout to the upside, but Apple couldn't hold up new all-time high coming down sharply. So that could be very, very bearish signal. If you see a follow through tomorrow, that could be a very, very definitely bearish signal for the market. Amazon just to make up to $1.05 today. So Amazon just hold off for now, but we will see if it gets there to 130 to 137. We'll see how it goes. Meta is just reacting another shadow, just a shooting a star on the top. Seems like this one is in top information as well. So I'm not surprised to see Meta is coming down to fill out this gap fill. So it's going to be $71 to $60 to the downside. So it is very, very overstretched. Look at the trend. So this is absolutely V-shaped recovery. It goes all the way up to here. Pretty nice. So we just come up with the video analysis at the beginning of this year, and I just mentioned to everyone, Meta can be outperformer for 2023, which was actually from 147, it goes all the way up to 270. So that's going to be $130 for per sure. And I think we nailed it. And I think this one is getting close to the top, especially 293. Then it can go down all the way to here, to at least for the first signal, that's going to be a 210, and then bounce, and then coming down here or here as well. So Don't be surprised if you see this sharp sell-off, sharp advance can end up to the sharp sell-off as well. So Meta is absolutely in a very, very volatile period. It's a very, very good stock to trade if you want to be buyer. So make sure buy in the right level. If you want to sell, which I think you should be buyer, not seller for these stocks. Microsoft had a nice uptick today. So, but again, it goes back to this area. It could be a candidate for new all-time high after Nvidia and Apple, but even if it can't get, you shouldn't be surprised because now this one is overstretched, overbought, and that could be kind of like the last one getting to here to double top or new all-time high just slightly, and then it can just getting into the sell-off like Apple as you saw yesterday. Google just $1.34 dollar up today, so nice price action for Google right now after market hold up pretty well. So Google is just struggling with this. So this supplier, yeah, ended up to this sell-off here, coming back, kind of like a back test going to the lower low. So right now, Google is forming pretty nice, I should say, if it goes down here, that could be reverse head and shoulder. So we should see another kind of like a decline to here, 107, for accumulate more shares if you want to be a buyer. I would not sell Google. I would buy if it goes here to give us a right setup for buy because these stocks can go like Nvidia, can go all the way up, 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 and you will be disappointed why you sold out here this area. So Netflix shadow to this supply area again. So this is kind of like interesting to see, but I believe Netflix 396, that would be the top. It's kind of like over to my expectation, $400. But right now, as you see here, Netflix is struggling in this area. So we'll see how it goes. Tesla is the next one. Pretty nice breakout to the upside, getting back above this pivotal point. So Tesla, any pullback could be a buying opportunity if you ask me for this area. So 254 to 264, that could be kind of like the area for the Tesla. If this one goes back down and then reacting nicely to the top. So we'll see if this one forms as well or not. Moving on to semiconductors, which was the weakness of today, and I should say last week as well. So this is SMH, semiconductor index, and this one is not strong at all because this one is getting close to this top information and coming down right now. So I believe this one has been topped, and this is the weakness in NDX, Nasdaq, because while technology is up, I mean, like a big techies, semis is just diverging their way to the downside. So if semi continues to the downside, 130 to 127, that could be the area for semi to buy or to react. But right now, they're not strong at all. SOX, the same pattern as well. So this one is Philadelphia Semiconductor Index coming down. TSM, nice shadow to the upside. Actually, that was pretty interesting. Goes all the way back down here to this area. It could go actually to this area as well, but didn't. But nicely reversing back up. So this one needs to get above this, which is pretty hard time, to be honest, because lots of sellers taking control in that area. So I believe semiconductors are lagging, which is not a good symptom for the market. AMD, just hold up for now, this gap. If this gap taken out to the downside, this can go all the way to 107. So we'll see how it goes. NVIDIA, this one is holding up for now, just coming down sharply at the beginning, but buyers just recommit back. Ended up to $1.56 loss today, but nothing bad, nothing good. TXN, $4.97 down. So TXN absolutely smashed today. I don't know what was the catalyst, but this one is coming down. Lamb Research pretty nicely getting into this target area, which is 642, which we nailed it before. And this is pretty interesting, guys. When we just talk about the levels, people are just exhausted and kind of like bored about the consolidation. But as I said, when we're talking this level, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen tomorrow or next week. It can just consolidate a lot for 2-3 months, but within a week, it can just hit that level and coming down. So that happens to the market, but levels are gonna met, but we don't know when. So that's the question mark. Moving on to the banking sectors, XLF, financials, Spider. This one is coming down 17 cents today. Nothing bad, nothing good. I believe they're going to be outperformer for the next 2-3 months. KBE, which is the large cap bank ETF, this one is coming down. This one needs to consolidate prior to this breakout to the upside. KRE, which we had a breakout on Friday. This one is back testing right now the dynamic trend line. If it just get back above this, that could be a buy signal for KRE. So we'll see how it goes. JP Morgan 98%, 0.98%, $1.38 to the downside. Nothing bad, nothing good. Goldman Sachs $1.84 down. This one is not that good. Wells Fargo better than Goldman Sachs, but still they're just consolidating 79 cents to the downside. Citigroup, this one had a nice surge to the upside on Friday, but today just a return all the way back down and just revert back down and took all the gains to the loss. GoldMiners, move on to the GoldMiners. They were pretty positive, broad base, not that strong, but they were positive. So it's kind of like a pop consolidating right now. If it consolidates here more, that could be bullish signal for another pop to the upside. So we'll see how it goes for the gold miners. They're kind of like a leader for the gold mine as well. GDXJ, junior gold miners, they're just consolidating right now. AEM 14 cents to the upside. It's kind of like reacting to this pullback, but needs to get above this supply area. So that's important. 54, 55, that's going to be the area for the supply we should see. NEM, which is a Newmont, this one is coming down as well. So, but right now it's just retracing back up. So taking out this pivotal point, coming back down to back test, it can go all the way up to here to this area. So this breakout could be interesting, $46. If it gets above this, it can go all the way to 48. If it gets above this, then we can see $60 NEM for the next 3 to 5 months. Franco-Nevada, 11 cents to the upside. Gold Barrick, 12 cents to the downside, nothing special. And moving on to the energy, didn't follow up crude session. Crude was positive, but as I said, crude just smashed the entire session. So these ones gapped up, but sellers took control. So still in this technical level, which is very, very important, middle of this wide range bar, this hidden supply area. So right now it's just sellers to control here. Any close above 83, that could be interesting to see because that's going to be a bullish signal. XOP, just getting close above this, gapped up, but coming down sharply. So it's not a good action at all for bulls. OIH, different story. So this one breakout to the upside, coming back down, but technically reacted to this trend line. Let's see if it holds there. XOM, Exxon. So this one needs to go above 108. Otherwise, it's going to be just a consolidating bearish signal. CVX, Chevron coming down 75 cents. Oxy, 29 cents to the downside. Oxy, it was pretty positive, to be honest. It just gapped up here above this, but sharply coming down. And this is not bullish. Is it bearish? Yes. If we have followed through, that's going to be bearish, especially if we take out this pivotal point, that's going to be bearish. But right now, Oxy is in consolidation phase, if you ask me. Moving on to the last one, but not least, REIT. So this one, just getting above this, I was pretty happy to see that one, but look what happened. Ended up to 632, which is kind of like a negative. So again, this one needs to consolidate here for more bullish signal. If you take out this pivotal point, that can go all the way down here to $4 to 4.4. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I think I covered everything. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and have a good one. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.